initially I was just gonna put it on YouTube and put it out for free. And I was in a workshop with this actor, Mitu, and so she's an actor. She was in Cirque du Soleil and some other musicals, and so we used to workshop scripts with the South Asian Film Lab, and there were like 8 or 9 actors and 4 or 5 writers, and so I could just write something and bring it in. Um, so and then workshop it, and they would read the roles and give me feedback as actors. So when I went to cast this, I started with that group, but I wrote a pretty diverse script. So then I was casting. I didn't have that many specifically South Asian roles except for the core family. And also the age groups were different. So I ended up casting 2 people from the workshops. This is one of the actors who passed away also, Sushum Baby, at the beginning of COVID. And Sushum was also, she ran, the mother ran a festival, and she's a writing teacher at Columbia, so she would have a lot of screenings or meetings for arts organizations at her apartment near Columbia. So I kind of knew her. And then when you're doing like a very specific casting, sometimes there aren't that many people with training or credits. So she had credits and training, and she was in New York, and she had already worked with some other people. So I had auditions, open auditions, and she did a pretty solid reading, and she had done some theater show stuff also. And then people had told me like she's older and she might forget her lines and stuff. And we were shooting very late. Like, this looks like daytime, but actually that's all lighting. There's another scene that really looks like daytime, but this was all in the evening. So this is actually just light bounce that we had. And so I had to prompt her and one of the other actors, and they all had different backgrounds also. So I had to kind of sometimes act it out, and then she would do it that way, which is it's called bad directing, but sometimes you just have to do it. Otherwise you're supposed to give directing, like we talk about the character, like you really want your daughter to be responsible, and she's, always running off, and you really want her to show that she cares, something like that, Manvir, because I told you that whole thing with the Sikh community after 9/11. So I was like, okay, I'm doing something. I want an authentic Sikh person. We're not gonna have like a guy in a wig who's really white or something, and then the community gets really mad about it, like. And I didn't even want another type of Indian, because I just wanted somebody, if we got any backlash or something, somebody who was down with the project and could also be a spokesperson. But also it's just important to have the authentic people, to me. And there's so many actors who don't get cast to play themselves. So but it was a process to find, because it's such a small community, somebody who had training and some amount of background. And he didn't have any training. He was doing stand-up, so he was nervous because it was his first performance, and the other actors really gave him a lot, and so, like, in terms of energy, so it helped him zone in. And in terms of acting style, this is another taste thing where people may think, oh, it's over the top. This is also Chris Cotton, who also passed away, and he was a comedian from Philadelphia, and we met working on another web series that I was directing and producing. and he was really funny and the right age. And some of the jokes he like punched up some of the jokes. One of the actors in the workshop was with Amy Schumer's collective, so she recommended Swan Gruen, who ended up, he had been on Broadway and also on all these TV shows, and also did sketch comedy. He was in Rebel Without a Cause, so he had this sort of like James Dean drama side, but also a comedy side. And also Abir, the main actor, had grown older by this point because we were doing a reshoot. So having him in the costume disguises that he's older, but also it may be another kid in the neighborhood or something. And then the hair and makeup woman, I was like, what are we gonna do? He obviously looks older. So she was like, we can do his hair in a similar way. And it kind of worked. And then we were shooting him sitting down, so it's like less obvious. The same thing happened. There's a brother who's a gay character and here, and he is gay in real life. He works on opera. He's an opera singer and does a lot of Broadway. And he is a big personality. And so we screened it in LA, and a lot of, well, we screened it at all these festivals, and a lot of gay men of color liked it because they don't get to see themselves in like mixed race couples, or like this sort of suburban, couple who has a son type of situation. And then those kids are actually twins, and they were writing a lot of shorts in their class, short films. So I was like, okay, come and be in the movie, and then you can be on set. And I did one rehearsal with them together. So this girl, Riley, was in a lot of school plays. So when I had to add three more minutes, I thought of her. And then the Native American character also, I had written him in, and he has some jokes like he's the first original landlord of Manhattan and stuff like that. And I was getting a lot of actors who are not Native American, and then he somehow found me, my casting list that I had put out, my post for casting, and he called me the morning of the shoot, and he's actually done a lot of work, and he's on a bunch of TV shows, Sparrowhawk. So he came right away to set, and I ended up changing the person I had before, because again, I was like, it's important to have authentic people, and if you're gonna get flack, at least you should have the authentic people doing it. And plus, I just think people should get opportunities. So yeah, so that was on casting.